Hello, hello, hello. We are live for Dharma Talk Tuesday, and I'm really excited to talk about this topic. It's quite vulnerable. It is something I battled with myself about. I didn't want to talk about this, but I'm going to because I really believe it'll make a difference for you, and I'm more committed to making a difference for you than to being committed to looking good or to holding back on something that I know really will make a difference. So thank you for hopping on and saying hello. Chanel, always good to see you. Joanne, hi. Oh my gosh, hello. Nikki, always good to see you. We've got Jennifer Powder. Hey girl, I'm gonna wave at you. Crystal, hi. Yay, Jennifer. Hey Julie, excited to catch you live. Yes, thank you for joining. Wow, well, this is a conversation today about manifesting. And obviously, oops, sorry, Duke. Duke's laying under the table and it's really cute. While you guys are hopping on, I'm gonna show you how adorable my dog is. He thinks he's a lap dog and he, sleeps. That's his pile of fur right there next to him. The cleaner's coming tomorrow. He is laying under the table because he thinks that's where he belongs. It's like his little den, his little safe zone. No big deal. It's just, when he stands up, his back hits the table. So anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, this is a conversation about manifesting. So if you know someone who is interested in amping up and bringing power to their manifestation abilities, share this with them. Or if you have a following that is interested in this conversation of really it's about empowerment. It's like, how do you become an effective generator of things that you want in your life, as opposed to being an effective generator of things that you don't want in your life. And of course, this encompasses prosperity, doing what you love, relationships, all of the above. It's yes, I primarily coach business and money manifesting, but the truth is you can't compartmentalize one part of your life compared with another. So if you know someone who would love the conversation and the topic about manifesting right now, please do share this video with them because it's going to make a big difference. Today, hi Chrissy. She says, yay, favorite topic. Got Jacqueline, Celeste, hi. Samantha Sweetwater, one of my favorite people in the whole world. Hi Samantha, how are you doing? So thank you for spending some time with me this evening. Debbie, hello. All right. Maria, hi. Oh my gosh. Hi. So, okay, where to begin? Today I want to tell a story as it relates to family, actually. Joanne says, your hair looks fab. Well, thank you. I want to tell a story today as it relates to family. And the reason why this is important is because, so often the blocks that we experience in our career or in our manifesting or in our relationship actually has nothing to do with our career or our body or the thing that we think it has to do with. It has everything to do with our parents and our family. And that it's, the beliefs that we carry right now really were formed between the ages of 0 and 8. And that's when our family was our primary influence. And so if there's a breakdown anywhere in your life, it can actually be traced back to family in a lot of ways. In my experience, a lot of successful people are driven by results. That's why they're successful, and it's amazing. But sometimes they're driven by results at the expense of family. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was one of those people where I just felt like if I just made enough money, spoke on enough stages, had enough 6-figure weekends, then everything would be okay and all the wounds I ever experienced over the course of my whole life would be healed. Like that was sort of like a belief that I developed. Hi, Richie. Thank you for joining. Hi, Nick. Thanks for joining, you guys. So that was a belief that I developed. And as a result of that, I became kind of a steamroller. Hearts and likes, if you know what I'm talking about. What I mean by being a steamroller is I was somebody who prioritized results over relationship. So like if it meant like not going home for Christmas, but making more money, then that was the choice that I would make. If it meant prioritizing enrollment conversations and sales over prioritizing a conversation or a FaceTime call with a family member, then that's what I would choose. So I became very good at work and at career and had great results in that area of my life. And then there was this like massive breakdown happening in this other part of my life. Again, I'm sharing this with you vulnerably because I know it'll make a difference for you, even though it sucks to share this publicly. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I grew up with challenges. I'm just seeing who's joining. Tiffany, hello. Richie says creature of habits. Totally. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Emily. It's all my favorite people joining us tonight. Yay. Thank you for being here. So, hi, Emily. So I share this with you all because I know that if you're following me, like attracts like, and you probably can relate. And Joanne says it's already making a difference. Thank you. Thanks, girl. You probably can relate. And I just know I would have given anything to have someone talking about this when I was in some of the darkest places in my life related to family and just feeling betrayed and feeling like I wasn't getting my needs met in the family arena. Like I would have given anything to hear someone talk about this vulnerably. So that's why I'm going there with you today. Okay. So that was sort of like the backdrop. That's the context. That's how things were. Then over the course of time of doing my emotional intelligence, cultivating a relationship with my inner little girl, doing healing work with in myself with, if you've done leadership work, I'm kind of like beating around the bush right now because I don't want to, break confidentiality with regards to some of the trainings. A lot of you are on the line right now who have done leadership work, so you know what I'm talking about. You heal the inner little girl, you do the mom and dad work, and then you start to face some of these things, you know what I mean? And then you forgive, and you forgive, and you forgive, and you forgive. So I did a lot of that work, and things did get better, thank God. But I want to share with you, and some of you know exactly what I'm talking about here, I want to share with you one of the biggest revelations I have ever had in my entire life, and I'm going to share it with you because I think it's going to make a difference for you too. So here's the deal, and this can be so triggering for some people, so just bear with me. Everything that you are generating in your life right now, everything is a result of your alignment. In other words, you are responsible for everything that you are seeing happen in your life, in your business, in your family, in your health, in your body. No one else is responsible for the relationship breakdown, for the financial breakdown, for the body breakdown. I think people have a tendency, and I certainly have done it in the past, to blame someone else for why something isn't working for them. People have a tendency to say a circumstance is responsible for the reason why something isn't working for them. In other words, they'll point to a lot of different things and people outside of themselves, and they'll say, that's the reason why I couldn't do this, or this isn't working. And that's just not true. What's true is you are responsible for generating everything. And actually, let me just reframe that. On some level, that may feel true. And it may be true that, yes, I'm just going to give an example. Like, my parents divorced when I was in my early 20s, and I'm gonna say it was a result of a communication breakdown. It was a result of a communication breakdown. So then my mom blames my dad, and my dad blames my mom. You know, like, if you have divorced parents, you know what I'm talking about. You know how this goes down. And how powerful would it be? I mean, I just think about this all the time in those situations, for like my mom to have said, well, I'm responsible for this too, and my dad to say, I'm responsible for this too. I'm just gonna go a little bit closer to home. I'm gonna go a little bit closer to home and talk about myself, okay? So as an example, go a little bit closer to home. I have a sister, and she is 17 months younger than me. We grew up very, very close. When we were like 4 and 5 years old, I remember I used to make her play teacher with me. Guess who the teacher was? I'll give you a hint. I'm the older one. So I would sit her down and we would play teacher, and I would teach her things. Not much has changed, right? So that was our childhood years. And then over the course of time, unfortunately, things have unraveled. And I'm just going to go back to what I said at the beginning of this Dharma Talk Tuesday. I'm results driven. I care a lot about how much money I make. I care a lot about the car that I drive. These are things that results driven people care about. It's not right or wrong. It's just a results driven person thing to do. Okay? And that's okay. And as I said earlier in this conversation, I had chosen to prioritize results and money and things that I was excited about over those relationships with my family, including my relationship with my sister. I was in a story, okay, bear with me on this because you may be able to relate to this. I was in a story that because she didn't believe the same things that I believed. So for example, because she didn't have the same point of view about my parents' divorce as I did, or because she had a different point of view about like even men than I did, or because she has a different point of view about like men and relationships, I mean like what a relationship should feel and look like, because she had a different point of view about what one should prioritize when they're making a decision about moving across the country or about choosing a job, because she's also an entrepreneur, and she's got different ways of running her business than I do. So for a long time, I made her wrong because she had different a point of view. When I say it this way, I know it sounds very obvious that like that's a very judgmental, non-transformed thing to do. But think about it for a second. In your life, where are you making someone wrong? Where are you judging them? Where are you writing them off because they don't have the same point of view as you do about something? They don't agree with you. How quick are you to write them off or to disagree or get defensive if they disagree with you or if you disagree with them? Think about that for a second, because if you look at it that way and you take it back to you and the energy that you have in that situation, you can start to see what energy you're bringing to the conversation, to the relationship, and to the table. Okay, so I started to have this revelation and this realization in this way with my sister and with my relationship with her. I got on the phone with her. I chose to have a conversation with her about all of this. And here's the deal. She had dealt up till that point with like years and years and years and years and years of me believing my way was better and her way wasn't working. And one could say that that was true. However, based on the way that our relationship had unfolded, like that it wasn't effective. It wasn't an effective way to be in a relationship with somebody. So here's what happened, you guys. And this is the breakthrough moment that I want to share with you. And this is the realization that will make all the difference for you. Are you ready? Give me some hearts and likes if you're ready. Give me some hearts and likes if you're ready. And then I'm going to come back to your comments. Hearts and likes, hearts and likes. Okay, so thank you. So here's what happened. I realized in my conversation with her that she never felt heard by me. She never felt gotten by me. She never felt like I heard her point of view, because I hadn't. So when I said what I call the magic words, when I said the magic words, and the magic words are, they're 3 words. Can anyone guess them? The 3 magic words. What are the 3 magic words? There are 3 magic words that can build trust and build relationship in any situation. 3 magic words. What do you think they are? Let's see. Comment with what you think the 3 magic words are. Let's see some guesses. When I said the 3 magic words to her, things started to shift. Things started to shift. Oh, Karen, you are so good. Karen, Crystal. Oh, you guys are so good. That's it. The 3 magic words are, I hear you. I hear you. I get you. I hear you. We have some guesses of I am sorry, and that's good too. Those are definitely, if you have something that you need to apologize for, those are also good words to share. But what I believe most people on this planet want more than anything else in the world is to feel gotten. They just want to feel understood. I know that's one of my most important values. I just want to feel gotten. I just want to feel understood. So if I was blocking my sister from experiencing the feeling of gotten and understood, how can I possibly expect to feel gotten and understood by her? Bing! Light bulb! Hello. So think about something that you want to feel in your life. Do you want to feel, Giselle says, I love you. Those are also good words, but it's actually like, so people just want to feel heard and they want to feel understood. I hear you. I get you. I hear what you're saying. I understand. Those are the magic words. So think about something that you want, let's say even in one of your relationships in your life right now. Think about something that you want to create an experience that you want to feel in one of your relationships right now. And you have to ask yourself, so once you have that, do you have that? Hearts and likes if you have it. What do you want to feel in one of your relationships right now? Hearts and likes, when you have it in your head, okay, this is what I want to feel in one of my relationships right now. I want to feel understood. I want to feel loved. I want to feel a sense of that person's thinking of me. I want to feel like generosity from them. I want to receive gifts from them. Okay, you've got it? Okay. So here's what you need to do. You need to give that to them. You need to give away what you most want, okay? So what I most wanted in that moment, honestly, with my sister, was for her to hear me and for her to get me. That was what I most wanted. So what I realized I needed to do was I needed to get her and I needed to hear her. And what I realized in that moment was I hadn't heard her really up until that point. I didn't really give her space to feel heard by me. And what happened was she was really angry. She had a lot of anger coming out at me. Like she felt really angry. She felt like she just kind of like let it rip, to be honest with you. And you know what I did? I just held space and I said, I hear you. I hear you. I get it. I totally get it. I hear you. And I'll tell you what I didn't do. I didn't get defensive. I didn't try to make her wrong. I didn't put off on her. And here's why. Because I was operating in a fundamental assumption, a fundamental belief. And that fundamental assumption, that fundamental belief was this. Are you ready? The fundamental belief, the fundamental assumption was, I'm responsible. I'm responsible. I'm the one that generated the energy that's in this relationship right now. It wasn't her, it was me. I'm responsible. And the reason why that's such a great choice, if you're committed to being a leader and to being a powerful manifester, is because it is the most powerful choice. Now, here's the deal. There are really terrible things that happen to people around the world, like unspeakable, horrific things. So oftentimes when we're having this conversation about manifesting and responsibility, people will say something like, well, did that person manifest? Like, are they responsible that they got raped? Or, oh, so are you saying they're responsible that like their parents left them when they were little? And that's where it gets kind of like fuzzy and difficult and tricky. And I would actually still say yes. I would take a strong stand that yes, they are still responsible. And here's why. Because while yes, it's true that they were not at power in that moment to not cause that situation on some level. On some level, that's true. They were not at power. The reason why I would still say yes, they are responsible for that having happened is because it's the more powerful choice. Do I believe that in that moment, that breakdown with my sister, that she was also responsible in various ways? Yeah, but I'm not going to be a victim to that. I'm not going to be a victim to her. I'm not going to give away any of my power because that's not a powerful way to think about it. That's not the powerful thing to do. And if you're committed to being a powerful manifester, you must think in terms of power. So I'll give you an example. My sister got really sick. She had cancer when she was 13 and I was 14. And my mom, so she was at the hospital for the majority of like the following 2 years. My dad was always at work and my mom was always at the hospital with my sister. So I pretty much raised myself when I was a teenager, okay? So someone might look at that situation and say something to me like, wow, like that sucks that you didn't really have a family, you didn't really have parents, you didn't get to have like a normal teenage experience. Like I grew up and got serious real quick. You know what I mean? So someone might look at that and feel sorry for me and feel sad. I could feel sorry for me and feel sad. But instead, I choose the responsible choice, which is, wow, I manifested the experience of not really having my family around when I was a teenager because my soul, I wanted to experience fierce independence. I wanted to experience being able to formulate my own opinions and choices about my life, formulate my own beliefs about things. My soul generated the experience of feeling freedom as a teenager at that level, at that age. Do you see the difference in the energy between the two scenarios? So I share this with you because this is the point of view that I chose with my sister. I chose to not be defensive, not try to be right, and instead just hold the space, say, I hear you, I hear you, I hear you, I get it, I'm responsible, I'm responsible, I'm responsible, I'm responsible. And guess what happened, you guys? Ever since that conversation, she and I have had the most connected, loving, happy, laughter-filled relationship that we've had. I mean, ever since that time when we played teacher when I was like 5 years old and she was 4 years old, you know, like that was really up till this point the last time that we'd had like a great relationship, and now we're developing a great relationship again because I chose responsibility. When I chose responsibility, she changed. When I chose responsibility, the relationship changed. I've seen this happen with so many relationships. I could give you so many examples, you guys. And I would love to hear if you have an example, if you know what I'm talking about and you have a living example of this, I'd love to hear it from you too. So I'm just going to take a moment right now and read some of your comments because I see quite a few coming in. Okay, so Karen says, does this work with someone that seems to be competing for some reason? Their conversation seems to come across competitive. So Karen, yes, it works for everything. So you are responsible for generating the experience of that person coming at you with a competitive energy. There's something in you that is generating that. And you want to ask yourself, like, are you in some way, shape, or form competitive? Here's why, you guys. It's a vibration. And if you spot it, you got it. You wouldn't even be noticing that conversation happening if it didn't live somewhere in you. You know what I mean? If it didn't live somewhere inside you. So it's actually about something you can handle inside yourself. You can't control another person, but you can control you. And that's why it's more powerful to choose responsibility. Tiffany says, so we are not saying that the other person is not responsible, only that no matter what, I have the power to make the situation or relationship whatever I truly want it to be. Also, that responsibility is not necessarily the same as blame, but it is power. What is happening here? For some reason, I can't read the rest of that. But yeah, I see. But it is power to see and respond without being a victim. Tiffany, that was really beautifully stated. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So it's not that the other person's not responsible, because I believe every single person is responsible. Yeah, it is. But we can't control anybody except ourselves. We don't want to control anyone except ourselves. Like, no one wants to be a control freak. So like, yeah, you're responsible for yourself. As such, you get to stand as source for somebody who chooses responsibly. And then by you standing in the energy of responsibility, something vibrationally happens. And not that you do it, you choose responsibility because it's powerful for you and it makes you a more powerful manifester. But that being said, something magical happens when you choose responsibility, which is that the other person changes. And you don't do it for this reason, but it inevitably happens every time. The other person transforms when you choose responsibility. Okay. So Tasha says the key to divine flow. Yes, yes, and yes. Karen says awesome way to, and then she leaves off the end of the sentence. There's a little bit of a cliffhanger. Oh, awesome way to diffuse the undesired energy, choosing responsibility. Yeah, it's powerful, you guys. And so that's my vulnerable, real share with you. It was honestly really painful when I realized that I was the one that was responsible for generating the decades of emotions and breakdown and feelings we'd had up until that point. But when I realized I was responsible, that gave me the power to do something about it. And that's really the point here, is if you are committed to being a powerful manifester, that means that you want power. Like, you want to be in a position to do something about it, as opposed to being like a helpless victim who can't do anything and is at cause of other people's emotions and words and actions and choices. You're more powerful than that, and it's time to give yourself credit for how powerful you really, truly, authentically are. Tiffany says, I appreciate this, Julie. Thank you. You're welcome, Tiffany. I really hope this made a difference for all of you watching. If you know someone who needs to hear this message, family member, a spouse, a friend, please share this message, because I just want you to, for a moment, imagine a world where every single human took responsibility, stood in responsibility in their lives for everything. Where we stopped blaming each other, we stopped being a victim to our circumstances, where we stopped buying each other's bullshit, but we actually lived in a world where every single one of us owned what we are generating on this planet. So if you feel inspired by that and you see that world too, please hit the share button and help me in generating and creating that world. Let's see. You're welcome, Karen. Crystal says, I had a very similar type of realization a week ago about a couple past relationships. With the tools I have now, I may have been able to help the situation. Really great words of wisdom. Ooh, Crystal. So you still can do something about it. I would challenge you to actually go and heal those relationships and be in responsibility in every single one of those relationships. And if for whatever reason you can't communicate with them directly now, you can do it energetically. And you can actually call that person's soul in and have a soul level conversation with them. So I invite you to do that. Tasha says self-mastery. Evelyn says, I have plenty of people to share this with. Oh, Evelyn, you are the best. I just love you. Love this, love you. And Chrissy says, hearts. All right, team. That's it for today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being present to this message. It's a tough one to share for so many reasons, but I believe that with vulnerability like this, honesty, authenticity, transparency, and responsibility, you and me together can be the cause, finally, present here in this moment now, of the transformation that we want to see in the world, and stop waiting for it to happen in the future or at some unknown time. And that's it. I'll see you next week on Dharma Talk Tuesday, 6 o'clock Pacific. Always a pleasure to see you. If you're watching the replay, I will get back to you in the comments. Thank you for your participation, for your shares. And I wish you a blessed and powerful rest of the week. Bye.